Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Our people say he who builds a highway to heaven must travel alone. Now, report has it that the great lion returned from seclusion with, a deep secret, revealing a deep secret that brought tears out of his eyes, and everyone was shocked. There is so much fear right now as we are talking. Usually, when the great lion goes for seclusion, everyone is expectant. People gather expecting him to return and bless them like he did. Actually, when he came back, he prayed for his people. He blessed them because it is believed that when he goes for seclusion, he returns back, spiritually empowered to carry on, his job, his tasks, and also continue to be a blessing to his people. Now, when he came back from seclusion, people expected just the normal blessing, the prayers, and all of that. Only for them to realize that he came back with a message that he himself, as the great lion, never expected. He came back with tears, and the message will leave a lasting shock on the people of the great land of Odua. Now, what is this message? They said the great lion came back from seclusion with tears, exposes hidden truth that elders seek for months now are victim of Àrùn Òkunkun, okay? Àrùn Òkunkun, that they are sick of Àrùn Òkunkun for plotting against the jewel. Yes, that happens to be the reason why they are sick. Now, if you have been following what has been going on in the great lion's palace, something has been going on. Now, when the great lion brought out Ogunjai, remember that deity, right? A very renowned elder, kingsman, disappeared from the palace. He never entered the palace again until they binded that deity back. He did not. But, after they binded the deity, some weeks later, that very man became sick. He came to the palace and then he left, he became sick. That is Parfemi. Then there is, one of the reasons why people were very, very expectant and they were happy that it was time for Kabiyesi to go for seclusion was because they believed that he was going to bring answers to certain things that have been happening in the palace, okay? There is somebody called Oye Laran. There is Adewale, Adewale, there is Pa Olatunde, there is Pa Akintoye, there is Iya Yetunde, there is Iya Mojusola. These people have been very sick. They have been sick. Now, it's not necessarily that they are living inside the palace. They are not living inside the palace, but they are, elders who are members of the throne. They come, they go, and all of that. They are major decision makers on that throne. They have been sick. They are moving them from one hospital to the other, debilitating ailment. They treat here, they treat there. It doesn't seem like anything has been going on. They have consulted, tons of, Ifa priests. They will do treatment and all of that. They keep shaking their heads that, it's something more and all of that. And that was the reason why, the great lion had said that before the Ofarende, that he was going to bring this woman again, okay? That he was going to bring Iyanifa again. Perhaps with Iyanifa, the Iyanifa will be able to ascertain what is wrong with these elders, okay? So when the great lion was going for seclusion, they were very happy. Families were happy. They were part of those who even escorted the great lion to the door and everything, because they felt or they knew that by the time he comes back, he will come back with answers, okay? And that is what happens most times. Every year he goes for seclusion. Things happen when he comes back. He comes back with a lot of answers. He's very powerful. But this time when he came back with a shocker of the century, that these people have been plagued with Àrùn. Okay, now what is Àrùn? In Yoruba, Àrùn means sickness or affliction. They say Òkunkun means darkness. That is sickness of darkness. Not just physical darkness, but spiritual obscurity, confusion, and calamity. Together, Àrùn Òkunkun is the sickness of darkness. It is not an ordinary illness. It is a spiritual affliction believed to come when the gods, ancestors, or deities are provoked by grave disobedience. Yes, that is when you get this kind of sickness. And now, Kábíyèsí was expected to come with answers. Is alleged to have come with the answer that they never expected, that all of these people have been, instrumental to, fighting and making sure that the jewel never returns into the palace again. And so that they have been afflicted, that the gods have afflicted them with Àrùn. Now, this Àrùn, how does it affect the people? They said it's usually sudden weakness and wasting. Victims become frail quickly as though something unseen is draining their life. Sometimes some of them, they continue to see unending nightmares. They see shadows, they hear voices and cannot find rest even in sleep. Sometimes it could be blindness of destiny. Their wisdom fails, their plans scatter. What they say no longer holds authority. Sometimes it's communal cause. This Àrùn does not strike one person. It's usually a group or household that offended the gods that are usually afflicted together. No medicine works. Herbalists and doctors cannot cure it. Only appeasement of the ancestors or restoration of what was wrong can bring healing. Now, in royal Yoruba tradition, among Yoruba royals, Àrùn Òkunkun is dreaded more than war. It is believed to strike elders, chief, or palace members, or it could be anybody who blocked the rightful will of the gods. Once it enters the palace or anywhere, it diminishes authority. Elders lose respect, warriors lose courage, and the land suffers drought, famine, and unrest. The only cause is to reverse the offense, and that is how Àrùn works. Now, I'm going to give you a story of what had happened in the past. Why is this Àrùn, these people who have been sick, why are they still sick and not being able to be cured? They said it's because they have stood against the jewel the entire time, even when they got instructed over and over. After the full moon ritual, everybody relaxed. And, plans have been ongoing. Everybody thought that was over. But they didn't know that what they did before, the gods was waiting for them in front. This is what has been going on. Now, I'm going to give you an example of when this had happened. Long ago in Ile-Ife, during the reign of an Oni called Oni Ari Batoto, the council of elders conspired against the priestess who carried the destiny of the land. They forced her out, claiming she was too powerful. Within months, the strongest chief fell sick. Their skin, grew pale, their voices fainted, and they wasted like dry leaf. The diviners declared this is Àrùn Òkunkun, the sickness of darkness. It is the punishment for driving out the chosen one. They only begged the ancestors for mercy, but they refused, saying the land will remain in darkness until she returns. When the priestess was finally brought back and sacrifices made at the Osun River, the elders recovered, but the most stubborn amongst them never rose again. Since then, anytime a rightful queen, priestess, or chosen one is driven away unjustly, Yoruba elders warn, beware Àrùn Òkunkun, the darkness that no medicine can cure. Now, as we are hearing, they said that this is exactly what the message that the Great Lion brought, that these people have been afflicted by Àrùn. Remember I told you, is it Femi, that one of their part there. Then there's Oye Laran, there is Adewale, there is Olatunde, there is Akin Toye, there is Iya Yetunde, there is Mojisola. All of those people have been very, very sick. They have taken them time as into so many places. Now, this Pa Adewale, the children already, they have money. They have been carrying him, they've taken him to UK, they've taken him to US. They said right now they are preparing to now move him again. Somebody that has been taken to the UK and the US, they want to take him to India again. Now, they were hoping that with this seclusion, the Great Lion will come with a news to say, you know, what they can do, okay? But the Great Lion came back with a bombshell and said that it is a run everywhere scattered, because when it comes to this Aaron, usually no mercy. It is so much that is going on right now. They say the prayers, the Kabiyesi prayed, people enjoyed the prayers, everything went well. But when Kabiyesi struck with this one, everyone, all of these families involved, like they almost fainted. All for what? Just because you were fighting a little girl that is young enough to be your own daughter, trying to remove her from her destiny. Are you God? You're not God. You don't have the capacity. This is what is going on. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.